the second half. They've managed to find another gear. Can they do it with time running out? There's on Ingram to bat the ball away. Williams could tie it with a three. He goes! Tied at 38 seconds to go.
Oh, what are you doing? He threw him out of the ball game. You gotta be paying me. What in the hell are you doing? What are you doing, Wagner?
No, listen, stick around the game. You listen to an old veteran like me. I'll show you how to talk on the air, boy. Talk, you know, to TV. No, really, TV, cameras and going on and shit like that. Huh? I'm telling you, man. I'll show you how to make a living with this stuff. I'll show you how to have the people eating right out of here.
My enemies are white people, not Vietcongs or Chinese or Japanese. You my opposer when I want freedom. You my opposer when I want justice. You my opposer when I want equality. You won't even stand up for me in America for my religious beliefs, and you want me to go somewhere and fight, but you won't even stand up for me here at home.
We just realized our guest, it was our fault. Our guest is not here yet because he forgot that we're not on Central. So he's coming on.
Delicious. This show brought to you by Kratom, as always.
Dude, I'm trying to get, we have, in the chat, we've had mention of, my friend of the show, Sulitos, of Asheville Artisanal Kratom. I don't know if they're actually growing it out there. Like I can't tell from the website, but it's some sort of kratom producer that you know, I think I'm gonna have to try. He says it's very good. He says it's,
Your tell it's powerful. It's a powerful blend.
He says like taking a perk 40. So
okay.
taking me back in time.
Speaking of things that'll fuck you up, also by Malort. Here we go.
Dude, I speaking of, also another friend of the show, Jonathan Duran, who's actually been on the show before.
Respect.
He sent me a video of someone signing with the Chicago MLS team. What do they call it? The Fire? The Fire, that's right.
Yeah.
And the guy did a shot of Malort for like the signing video. It was pretty funny.
That's how you become a favored son.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I thought it was. I honestly, like, in my entire time living in Illinois, I couldn't tell you a single fucking like branding item of the Chicago Fire in my entire life that I've seen. So it was.
I don't think the Chicago Fire could tell you. I don't think that they know.
They were on. They had Schweinsteiger, right? Like, isn't that the guy?
They
that
did.
Had? Yeah.
Bastian Schweinsteiger, hero of the 2014 World Cup.
Yeah.
Was rooting heavily for the Germans. He did it. It roughly means, I think it means pig fucker in German, or like that's kind of just slang. His last name means pig fucker.
Schwan, yeah, that sounds right. That's like a Schweinsteiger. Yeah. It's like a sausage. Yeah.
I would pay. You should join Means TV, everyone, just to hear an hour of Adam trying to speak German. And just Schwansteiger.
I also I'm doing a different angle this week. I'm trying to do more. Oh, here's Noah.
Good angle.
Here, I'm gonna have to do a little resizing. Everybody will have to hold with
Adam's
me.
Going.
We can still talk. We can still talk, but I'm gonna go to the. I'm gonna have to switch. I have to switch to the title card. So, 1 second while I resize for everybody.
I don't know what the title card is, but I'm assuming that it's the picture of the three, like
What's up,
popcorn and a drink. Like, let's all go to the movies.
It's not the one that you did with like all the all the
bad owners, the worst owners.
That's the worst owners.
All right,
Okay.
there we go.
Okay, we can hear you. I'm putting you on the video. So we had some miscommunication about Eastern to Central Time.
God's time zone is always the way. Okay, we're talking about the Big Ten. It's all God's time zone all the time.
That's true. We should have done
That's
that.
true. Yeah, we didn't commit to the sanctity of the Big Ten.
So Noah's you're a rare combo, Northwestern fan and also White Sox fan. That's a rare vintage.
It is rare, and I don't have good company. You know, I gotta say the other Northwestern White Sox, besides the ones that I know personally, you know, the most famous Northwestern White Sox fan is not exactly great company. Although that's a very White Sox thing.
It's just the entire Daly family. It's all 500 Daly cousins is the Northwestern White Sox.
Did Daly even get into Northwestern? I feel like they just decreasingly got like less and less bright. So I'm gonna have to say no.
That doesn't matter. That doesn't matter at all.
Where did the Daly? I want to know where the Dalys did go to college, because I swear to
I
God,
don't
if they went to Illinois.
I don't think Northwestern.
Richard Daly, which one? Richard Daly, the junior or the third is? What was? Are they all mayors? Are all three of them mayors?
Why not?
Only the two. Only the two.
Okay,
Yeah,
Richard
there's
Daly.
two.
Richard Daly graduated from alma mater.
Had to be Yale. I'm going Yale. I'm guessing Yale.
All right.
He went to DePaul, so.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And Providence.
That's not surprising. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, DePaul, like the most overrated school in Chicago.
And also
Richard Daly,
Old Mayor Daly,
right? It's
Old
three.
Mayor Daly had, but Old Mayor Daly had to pull every string in the book to get new Mayor Daly into DePaul. It was every single thing. He's just like most scions of famous mayors are like, can you pull a favor to get me into Harvard? And the Daly the younger is just like, I just need DePaul.
They all went to DePaul. They're all DePaul boys. That's funny.
Big beautiful blue demons.
Dude, speaking of, we need. I mean, this isn't gonna be inclusive to Noah. We could maybe figure out a way to do it, but they need to just change the Feast Week tournament to an all Illinois tournament, where they bring back the UIC game with Illinois.
We published an article about this, about making it. Well, it's a little bit different, but we published on Inside and You, which is a blog that I run about Northwestern sports. We published an article about making like a Chicago version of the Philly 5 with UIC and DePaul, but it didn't have Illinois in it. If we want to do, we could do an 8-team.
We all know who Chicago's team really is. We've all seen the billboards.
There's five teams in the Chicagoland area. There's only 5 of them. So, but I'm saying if you want to do an Illinois tournament, you can make it 8 and have Northwestern, UIC, Loyola, DePaul, Chicago State, Bradley, Illinois, and I don't know, like.
The problem is that 3 of them are in the Missouri Valley and 2 of them are in the Big Ten. So it's like you'd have to figure out how to be like, okay, well, we'll get a conference game in early, which would kind of work with the new stupid Big Ten schedule.
No. I have an elegant solution. We do all the 8 teams, except we just kind of, for the purposes of this tournament, kind of annex St. Louis, and then we have SLU and take out Northwestern. Elegant solution.
Probably a better basketball team.
St. Louis, I would just say this. Evanston has its share of problems. St. Louis is a worse place to be than Evanston in every respect. In city. I'm not even talking about Chicago. I'm talking about Evanston in particular. Evanston, as a city, standalone, better than St. Louis.
Ooh,
I've been there. It's decent. It's nice.
I don't know. St. Louis, a lot of fun. If you know where to find it.
I got into Northwestern and watched you. Those are the only 2 places I got in. And I didn't because I hate St. Louis so much. That was
a really slight humble brag you just did there.
Well, kind
of.
I
actually got like a perfect score on my SAT. Like, so, you know,
I didn't get into any other schools, so. I didn't get to my safety. So, you know.
Yeah.
But actually, all kidding aside, that would be a legit tournament. I would love that. Could be a thing.
I don't know why
at
at least Illinois doesn't play fucking ISU. Like, I don't know why that's not like a regular thing.
Yeah,
like that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Illinois, DePaul,
Northwestern doesn't play like. There's like something there. I don't know what it is, but I think Collins and Moser don't like each other or something.
Oh, really?
But the Northwestern.
It's probably because Northwestern knows they would lose the game.
Well, that's also, I mean, they played a scrimmage last year and lost.
Yeah, that's actually a heavy scrimmage. We usually play like a D2 team.
It was a secret scrimmage. I'm using sources right there.
Do you think there'd be any way is there any way at all, or is it unprecedented to waive that thing where, like, if you could have Northwestern and Illinois in the same tournament, you'd put them on different sides of the bracket. The only way they would meet each other is in the finals, and then you could, like, wipe it. So, like, is there any way to petition the Big Ten Conference?
No, you'd have to put it at the beginning.
Count this?
We'd have to put it at the beginning.
Yeah, you could make it a conference game and put it at the beginning, I think, if you petition them.
Yeah.
If you put that's like the first thing.
Because I think the Big East has done that for stuff.
Like I think that sounds right to me.
Yeah,
women's basketball. There was a women's basketball game this year that was like a conference game in a tournament, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, and especially it fits because they do that stupid fucking 2 weeks of conference play before you go back to like your last month of non-conference play.
You already do that. Why not just have a conference game in a Thanksgiving tournament? Who cares?
Yeah, exactly.
Because the dynamics are so good because Illinois, I mean, the motivation there obviously is if we win, we get to be like, eat shit, we're the big brother, fuck you.
You're playing all the Chicago. So it's like you get like recruiting Chicago so hard. I mean, you probably play the games that you see. Like, it's such a great excuse to like really go after Chicago. You know?
There's great motivation for Illinois, Northwestern, and DePaul, and there's great motivation for the other 5 teams because they're always like, oh, I want to knock off Illinois, Northwestern.
I'm gonna say
so
the only other conference that I care about conference supremacy in basketball is the Missouri Valley Conference because I grew up in Bloomington. Big Missouri Valley Conference guy. I would like to see it return to greatness when they used to be.
Very fun conference.
When I was in fucking high school, they had 3 fucking teams in the Sweet 16 one year.
Here's something for you that you might not have known, Adam.
What's that?
In women's basketball, the Missouri Valley is the best non-power conference by plenty. They're
really?
like the 10 of women's.
Huh?
Yeah, they're really. Yeah.
Well, I feel like the location. Oh, but go on.
Who is it? Who is it that's running it?
There's 7 top 100 RPI teams. Missouri State just fell out of the rankings because that's how you. But Missouri State is usually the team.
Yeah.
And then this year, UNI has been good for a while too. They're pretty solid.
Nice.
And then this year, Loyola is the best they've been in a long time. Southern Illinois is having a good year. And there's a couple other teams that are good too. I don't remember which.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's 7 top 100 RPI teams. It's really impressive.
Yeah.
I just feel like the recruiting base for that conference is so strong that no matter who's in it, based in that area, it's gonna be a good conference. Like, even though they get looted, it's sort of like, okay, well, there's other. So we love it.
Yeah, the fact.
The original.
I mean, I will die on the hill that there is no fucking rivalry game with ISU every year because it's like a rivalry in terms of like what school you go to in the state of Illinois by a million for sure. Like it's like, oh, like you got into ISU, fucking I screwed up, like, you know, like I mean, it's just like it makes no sense that we don't get to have like a fucking fun basketball rivalry game. I mean, sometimes they play I think they're playing a football game this year with ISU, which is just like a fucking trounce cupcake game.
Yeah, that's just weird.
Yeah.
Actually,
one year, Illinois, the only game they won was against ISU in football.
Northwestern lost to Illinois State in football 3 years ago when Illinois State went 6-6 in FCS play.
Really?
Or 5-something, and Northwestern lost them. That was the worst loss of Fitzgerald's tenure by plenty. They lost 9-7 to Illinois State.
Jesus Christ.
One of the most cursed football games of all time.
Ugh.
And that was with Clayton Fulton. They went 7-6 that year, Northwestern, and they lost to freaking Illinois State. That was the year they also lost to Fleck in Western Michigan. Before anybody knew that they were good. That was their undefeated year, but it was the first game. It was the second game of the season, so nobody knew they were good, and they lost because Thorson fumbled the ball through the back of the end zone at the 1 going in for the game-winning touchdown.
Yeah.
How does Northwestern football under Fitzgerald just swing wildly between like, oh, we're dark horse candidates for the Rose Bowl, and then just how is that?
3-10 win in the last 7 years. They have 3 10-win seasons, 2 5-win seasons, a 3-win season, and now end the year that they went to the Pinstripe Bowl and went 7-6 and lost to Illinois State, and won the Pinstripe Bowl against a good Pitt team led by Nathan Peterman, everybody's favorite quarterback.
Oh yeah.
That was Justin Jackson. That was Justin Jackson's best. Well, maybe not his best year. That was one of his best years. He had 200 yards in that Pinstripe Bowl.
I was about to say we just got to Justin Jackson. You're cut off, Nate. Sorry, but you're canceled. We got to get to the Justin Jackson watch. That was the woo 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 woo. Third week of Justin Jackson watch. He what's he been on this week? He has been he was roasting the New York Times, the failing New York Times. This decision is so spectacularly neoliberal. Not only do they not have the spine to endorse one candidate, one of the ones they picked is polling consistently at 2%, and the others watered down moderate policy proposals are considered, quote, radical, elitist groupthink at its finest. Fucking Justin.
Big numbers. Look at that flash line.
Oh, respect. I mean, he's putting up fucking Chapo numbers right there.
35,000 followers in 3 weeks. I mean,
no shit. Yeah, it's true.
I've been following him since the begining.
Yes, it's true. You've gotten to interview him, right?
I have. I've interviewed him before. I worked with him for a year.
No shit.
We were intramural refs together for his senior year, my freshman year. We did IM reffing, and we ref like. It was really funny. The best story from that year was we did IMs, basketball. It gets pretty intense. So we had the finals of White League, which is like so we have 3 leagues. We have Co-Rec, which is co-ed. We have White League, which is like the lower league, and then Purple League, which is the league for like club players and stuff. Actually, Brian McIntosh is playing in that league this year. So yeah, employees, so he's allowed to play. And so we're like
no shit.
Yeah, it's really funny. Anyways, so we were repping the White League finals, and one of the teams was Delt, like the fraternity. And they made their entire frat show up, so it's like 70 fans on the sidelines, and like a 12-player team. And the other team was a grad school team with 6 guys, and one of the dudes was Northwestern's backup quarterback, Matt Alviti. And me and Justin were repping the game, so obviously like Matt knew him really well. And this was right after, so this was after one of the 10-win seasons when we beat Kentucky in a bowl game. And what happened was Thorson got injured in that game, and Alviti came in relief and won the game with Justin Jackson. Like, they were the guys who like came in and won the game against Kentucky.
Yeah.
It was what bowl was that? One of the dumb ones. I don't remember. Anyways, so Alviti's playing in the game. Jackson is reffing, and the sideline, the Delt guys are all heckling him so much. It was just an incredible game. They ended up losing to the frat team, but great game. Mostly because their center dislocated his shoulder in the beginning of the game, and then they were down.
Jesus.
Yeah, it was pretty
wild. Ruthless.
Yeah, pretty wild day on the whole.
It's very funny.
I lost my team a game playing intramurals. We won the game, but I was shit talking the other team the entire game, and then they filed a complaint at the end of the game that I was shit talking and a bad sportsman, and we lost. We lost again.
That's
sportsmanship. Because man,
I do know Nate. Nate is one of the worst. Is one of the worst sportsmen, like in terms of like sportsmanship.
That's not true.
How are you gonna go to the refs after the game for intramurals about trash talk? If somebody did that to me for a Northwestern intramural game, I would laugh in their face. I would laugh at them.
I was gonna say I know the IM refs at Illinois. They just like they like really made I don't know, like they clearly just were there picking up a paycheck. I mean, they made like Tim Donaghy look like an active referee.
I mean, we do the job. We officiate, but I'm not gonna be the guy who's stepping in to stop shit talk.
Yeah. It's not your
Just 2 points to that. I've been slandered. 2 points to this. One, I am a wonderful sportsman to 90% of the people out there, and then if I don't respect you or you are mean, then I get very angry and shit talk you literally at all moments. Adam's seen this. You've seen games where I'm perfectly fine if there's one guy. I have a fault. If there's one guy out there that I don't like, I will incessantly chirp at that person until I almost get into a fight. And then 2, all of this happened before I discovered the wonderful herb that is kratom, and I believe that I would be much chiller now if I was playing intramural. I would be, yeah, things would be better, I think.
Things would be better, he said.
I like that Twitter name better. The kratom. That was great.
I mean, getting crated and playing basketball is fun as hell. Also, I play a shitload of hockey on kratom. I just get crated as hell and play hockey every week, actually. And it is, I can't recommend it enough.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's we have
like a basketball.
We have friends who run on it. We have friends who run fucking like 12 miles, 13 miles a day, just ripping kratom. Kratom is a magic herb.
All kratom does to you folks is if you have a bad temper and you're playing basketball, without kratom, if someone gives you a bit of a cheap shot, then you might, the next possession, perhaps elbow them in the back as they're going up for a layup, versus on kratom, you go, hey, nice hit, good hit, let's go. That's the difference. That's the kratom
I don't know if I could say that, because I definitely fought a dude while I was on kratom in a hockey game.
It probably felt great.
He wouldn't stop talking shit. He just all of a sudden this guy just started going on me. He's like, oh, just because you keep yelling that a goal was in doesn't make it go in. And I was like, well, it was in. And he just kept mouthing at me. And so finally, that we got to the face-off. I came out of the face-off and went straight for him and put his fucking head into the board.
Nice. And then you throw.
Well,
gloves
then he
off
started.
and then go.
Well, then he started. No, we didn't He started shoving me with the stick. He got back up and started shoving me down, doing the cross check down. And then the refs came and broke us up and gave us both 5 minutes because we're not really supposed to do stuff like that. Because technically it is. Technically it is really just assault. Like I really just committed assault is really what I did.
Basic assault is one of the greatest joys that exists. If you can commit assault and it's sanctioned, there's nothing better. I think
Yeah.
It makes hockey one of the greatest games in the world. Even though I'm not a huge fan of hockey.
Does Northwestern have a club team?
Yeah, we got a club team.
Are you D2 though?
It's not. Yeah,
it's
not the highest
one.
You
guys, yeah.
Yeah, it's not at your level for sure.
Yeah.
But
speaking of assault on the court, I gotta say, did anyone see the Wizards Pistons game today? No one.
I did not.
Why were there games? Oh, because it's MLK. I was like, why would I noticed that? I was like, why was there fucking games at 3:00?
Thomas Bryant went up for a board and whacked Andre Drummond right in the face, and he's laying down, and I'm just sitting there going, oh man, he's kind of fucked up. And the announcers go, is that a tooth on the floor? And he just fucking knocked you could just see a tooth lying on the paint. It's Andre Drummond's tooth got knocked out.
Jesus.
That's awful.
Well, before we get fully off of Northwestern talk, Noah, if you go into the Big Ten DM, the last thing I posted, you might actually have already seen this. The Northwestern video.
Yeah. They sent me the press release about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if you wanna put it on in the background so you can watch it with we're giving away a little bit of the kayfabe, but not all the time do we watch the videos physically together. We all have to hit play at the same time. So if you could pull it up so we could react to it and laugh at it.
There's a video here?
If you go on the Big Ten chat here, I'll just post it.
No.
Okay, you got it? Okay.
I just see the shirt link.
What's up?
I just see the shirts link here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pull that up. Pull that one up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Nathan, you got it?
Oh, I got it.
So I click on the link. Is there a video connected to it?
Yes.
I got the video.
It's grabio.com.
Yeah. I got it.
Okay. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
So we saw an opportunity playing so close to Martin Luther King Day and having two Under Armour teams play against each other
to
Under Armour
teams.
This collaborative
MLK
T-shirt
would have been an Under Armour
that has words that
Martin
represent Martin Luther King and his legacy. We got 15 words
seconds
from
in, I got
Northwestern
nobody.
student athletes,
Love.
15 words
Go.
from Maryland
Go.
student athletes.
The goat
We put
is
them
literally-
inside Martin Luther King's initials.
Do you
on
think
Same
it's
here.
goat
shirt.
or just goat is separate?
The word that came to mind when thinking about Dr. Martin Luther
No,
King
we were
was
talking about the only
equality.
thing that'll make
What
this
he did
better
for
is if
the
it was
black community
Northwestern
fighting
and
against
Wisconsin
social injustice
coming together
is
to make a shirt.
just
It's
remarkable.
incredible because we
I
talked
come
about this
from
in
a
the PM the other
biracial
day, but
family.
Northwestern, first of all, only
My
has
mother's
5 black
white, my
scholarship
father's
players,
black.
which isn't a ton.
And
2 of them are
without
currently
his,
injured. So they're really
actions and
limited here in
bravery,
terms of
I
options. And
simply
I'm pretty
wouldn't be
sure,
allowed
based
to.
on the press release, we're going to see a
I
white
think
player
Dr.
talking
King
about them.
represented
And, of
a
course,
great role
Collins.
model and leader for all of us.
Yeah, the press release had
The
quotes
things
from
he
Robbie
taught,
Barron.
The things he spoke about were so ahead
Wait,
of his
Ubin?
time. And
That
it applied to
motherfucker's
so many
donated money to
people,
both
and it brought people
Northwestern and
together.
Illinois basketball
For me,
centers.
Sullivan
leadership
Ubben.
is someone
Yeah,
who's
that's-
willing to go
That piece of
There's
shit,
And I
fuck
feel
him.
like Dr. Martin
We've
Luther King
more
Jr.
shots of Martin
is
Luther
the
King than we
epitome
have
of
seen
that.
shots of actual black
Dr.
people.
King fought for equality, which allowed
like,
me the
there we go.
opportunity to come to Northwestern
Still
and
still
study for
MLK
academics
shots
and,
than
play
alive
basketball.
black people.
It's a beyond
3-2.
basketball. It's not about winning or losing a basketball
We
game.
also have no
It's
Maryland
about,
players because it's
you know,
supposed to be like a
representing our student
collab.
athletes the right way.
Right,
for
right.
both teams
Maryland
to
is,
believe in this
extremely
and to come
black.
together on this project, I think, is pretty special.
They should have brought in your most famous alumni, Darren Rovell, to do
Yeah,
the shirts.
I think Darren Rovell would have been a great addition.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I also forgot we didn't go that here. Wait, I'm gonna go back to the video here. Chicago's Big Ten team. I think we all know who Chicago's Big Ten team is.
It's definitely Northwestern. We are better than you guys in the majority of the sports that both teams have. That means that we're Chicago's Big Ten team. That's how it works.
You guys aren't even good at the rich people sport, and you're the rich people college. We're better at it. Golf, baby. Golf.
We are good at golf.
We're better at golf. We're better at golf. We have all those Belgian kids.
We're national title contenders in golf.
Golf there's 2 forms of college golf, right? We're better at one. You guys are better at the other. Neither is inherently more important. Northwestern went to the national championship in women's golf 3 years ago.
I will say, incredible. Noah has to be the most knowledgeable women's sports fan I think we've ever had on the show, even more than Brittany DeLacreta is.
You have to be. Literally this is not. It's been this way the entire time I was at school. Every women's team at Northwestern that has a men's analog, the women's sport is better, and it's been this way for 3 years. How is that possible? That it's every single one. Women's soccer is better than men's soccer. Women's tennis is better than men's tennis. Softball is much better than baseball. Women's basketball is better than men's basketball. It's literally every single one.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
This is good.
Lacrosse too, right? Do you guys have a men's lacrosse team?
We don't even have a men's lacrosse team, but
the
yeah,
women's one is good.
Really?
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we don't have that.
I met the women's lacrosse team at O'Hare one time.
Really?
Yeah, I was like last year, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were coming back from some big national or something. Yeah.
So,
they weren't like large. Like I mean, they weren't like intimidating. I guess if that's what you were getting at. But yeah,
they're intimidating. Personally, I'm intimidated by them.
Yeah,
whenever
they were very nice. Yeah, they were cool. So shout out to the Northwestern women's lacrosse team. They flying in O'Hare, just like the rest of us. They're just like us, guys. They're just like us.
Not with lacrosse, but I've taken some of those O'Hare flights with Northwestern.
I just realized Ian just mentioned that we have kicked off Maurice on Martin Luther King Day. The problem is that Maurice actually he kicked himself off. Wait, who unplugged their headphones? Or I'm getting feedback.
Not I.
I'm getting.
I don't have headphones.
Okay. All of a sudden, I'm like hearing myself. Turn yourself down, then. We're getting like double.
What about now?
Okay, that's much better.
Here, let me put the headphones on.
Okay, yeah, there you go.
Thanks.
Yeah, we start getting like doubles. But yeah, so Maurice had to work, and so we did not kick him off on Martin Luther King Day. And I also put the wrong day for the anyways. Yes, he wanted to be here, but he is unfortunately celebrating Martin Luther King Day far too hard and is just working. So he couldn't get off of work. So we did not kick him off. But you know, this is a very important day. He wanted to let you know that if Martin Luther King was alive today, he would be a Republican. So that's his words. I don't know if I agree with them, but you know, that's what Maurice wanted me to tell you guys. That Maurice.
We're not allowed to disagree with him on Martin Luther King Day, right?
No.
Isn't that part of it?
He firmly wanted us to know this. So, yeah. So, very questionable, but who am I to question, you know, POC on Martin Luther King Day? I would never do that. So.
I was just a little background. I couldn't hear anything. I think it was my connection. So for like 30 seconds, I couldn't hear anything, and then I come back in after a long silence, and I just hear, "And who am I to question POC on Martin Luther King Day?" Which makes me believe that he just questioned POC on Martin Luther King Day. I don't know.
He almost did. He considered it. He considered questioning POC on Martin Luther King Day.
Yes. Okay, let's get into the stories. We got a few stories. We got some events of the day happening. Do we want to talk basketball, or do we want to talk the fucking wild internet drama first? What are we feeling? Nathan? A little vote? What do you got? What are you feeling?
Let's go. I think the basketball stuff's stronger, so let's finish out with it. Let's go with drama.
Okay. So, as we discussed last week, and I don't think this had happened yet. But you know, they're coming out with this like buzzer thing that if you start looking at jerseys, because allegedly Carlos Beltran's niece came onto Twitter and was saying that they were wearing buzzers. People start going crazy. They find a video where Altuve is screaming like, "Not the camisa, not the camisa," and
people. This is so funny because people talk about this at the time. I feel like everybody's forgotten that this was like a thing at the time. This was like a funny joke at the time that Altuve was like, "Oh, I didn't want to take my shirt off because last time I did and it was embarrassing," and people were like making jokes about that. This was like a year ago. Like, people have forgotten about this, I think, but it was like. People talked about it a lot at the time, and then everybody forgot about it, and now this has happened, and everybody's like, oh, crazy. And, I mean, looking back on it with our new perspective, obviously, like, the buzzer thing makes sense, but it's just so funny how everybody seems to have forgotten that this was, like, a thing that was talked about in baseball Twitter at the time.
Yeah, I do legitimately, I don't remember that. But yeah, so led to, I think my favorite tweet, I mean, it obviously led to, like, a lot of good tweets, with the buzzer stuff. The buzzer was very funny, but my favorite was the one where it appeared someone circled the picture of Big Al, hero of the Little League World Series, who had it appeared that Big Al may be in on the cheating scandal. I hate to tell you guys that.
You hate to have to cancel Big Al, but sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah,
Bye.
He's cheating. That was probably my favorite one.
I like that Mean Girls. I like that Mean Girls edit. Did you guys see that?
No.
The Mean Girls.
I did. That was good.
Just phenomenal. I mean, that was incredible. She put it all together 100%. It was like an edit of you've seen Mean Girls, right, Adam? I mean,
I love Mean Girls. I'm from Illinois.
So,
of course I've seen it.
Right. I mean, we've all seen it. Yeah. So there's this scene where like the burn book has been released, and then everybody's going crazy. They're like fighting in the hallways, and then the principal like hits the fire alarm. The sprinklers go off. He puts a stop to it. But there's like a crazy fracas in the hallways, and it was an edit with like every single person in the video in like the scene with a baseball player, like as a baseball player, like one of those edits, and like she got like 30 different players in there because there was so much drama on Twitter that day, from like Carlos Gomez was having a fight with Mark Teixeira about something separate, and she got that into the video. Had all like the Astros guys.
Mike Trout.
She got Lenny Dykstra in there because there's a joke about like a gym teacher like separating two girls, and then the principal's like, stay away from the underage girls, and she put that as Lenny Dykstra. It was incredible. And then Mike Trout was in, and then at the end it was Noah Syndergaard screaming "my hair" after the principal got the sprinklers on, and it got his hair wet. Yeah,
that was very. Yeah, no, I mean, before we get into this conspiracy unraveling, I'm wondering now too. I totally forgot that like in the middle of all this, like somebody started saying like Mike Trout's been using HGH for like a thyroid problem for like the past 8 years.
That was incredible.
So yeah, we don't know what to believe. It's going crazy. Baseball is fucking melting
And then somebody tweeted out a fake like photo comparison, like a fake one of like Trout and then Trout a year later, where the first one looked like he was like emaciated. It was incredible. Like, and it was obviously fake, but
That's great.
obviously a bunch of people believed it. It was unbelievable.
And the after picture is just him, but even more rectangular, just fully rectangular.
Like
he's literally just.
You can see the corners on the face. Yeah.
He's almost he's like blowing up like a fucking weather balloon by hand, like with his mouth, just like a strong man.
But as of right now, he's basically a Minecraft character now. Like,
yeah. He's made of blocks entirely.
Yeah.
But yeah, so as we found out today, kind of a weird thing has happened that we found out that Carlos Beltran's niece was in fact incarcerated Bob, who is like kind of like a gambling version of Barry Sports Talk. Is that what you would say, Noah?
He's even wilder than that. He's incarcerated Bob is batshit. First of all, there's like two things he does. First of all, he's like a gambling guy because all those guys are. He's like he gives his tips and shit like a low rent Clay Travis or whatever. Because he's probably better at gambling than Clay Travis is.
Yes.
Hard to be worse.
Always fake Clay Travis.
Remember that year when one of the SB Nation blogs faded Clay Travis for the whole year and made like legitimately $5,000 fading him? He did so bad. It was incredible.
Big Dave's gambling chat. We always fade Clay Travis and we always make a lot of money. Yeah. So
gotta fade Clay Travis. Yeah. Anyways, incarcerated Bob, he's like a gambling guy, but he fancies himself like a legitimate newsbreaker. So that's why he's not really like Barry. Like he actually breaks. He breaks news a lot. Like he's the guy. He says he has all these sources, and so he just breaks news all the time. Like that's what he does. Like he has this private Twitter account. Actually, he might have made it public. Sometimes he vacillates between. He has like 200,000 followers, and he just like breaks all this news about sports. Let's check it. Yeah, so he's public right now. He goes between public and private. He's got 141,000 followers. And so all he does is he just breaks news, and then he like comments on sports. Like he does like his sports commentary shit. And he's right like maybe half the time. He breaks so much shit that it's kind of like what our friend Woke Chud in the DM with the John McGrath account. He's just like saying so much shit that it's hard to tell whether some of it is just coming true because he has to be right about some of it, or whether he actually has some sources, but like they're the shadiest sources ever, so they're just wrong all the time because he just gets the most random shit right. And then so when he gets shit right, people are just like, holy shit, it's incarcerated Bob. This man tweets like 100 times an hour. It's incredible. The rate that he pumps out tweets. I mean, let's just look at a timeline right now. He's tweeted twice in the last 7 minutes. That was about Nolan Arenado, tweeting about Delonte West, his Hall of Fame ballot. This man just all he does is just fire off tweet after tweet. Now people are asking him about what he knows about the Arenado trade. He's giving everybody the info about the Arenado trade that he knows. But he's like that guy, the guy who always, he's got the sources. He's like White Sox Dave, but on a larger scale and like way more of an asshole about it. So he's just incredible, and he's just like pure internet too. I mean, this man has tweeted 200,000 times during his Twitter account, 200,000 tweets. So he's just firing off tweet after tweet, and that's why like when this burner account turned out to be him, it was hilarious because he probably had a source telling him that it was like that the buzzers existed because he has all these random fucking sources. Nobody understands how he has these sources, but he just has all these random fucking sources that are wrong all the goddamn time. But when they're right, it's really fucking funny. So he probably actually did have a source, and I don't know why he tweeted through this locked account that he's pretending is Beltran's niece. I don't understand why he did that, but like people are talking about it as if it's like a pure hoax, but like he probably did have somebody telling him that because he just has it's like what he does. He's just such a very deeply strange man.
Well, that's what this guy is saying. So Robert Silverman, like, he's the one who kind of, like, noticed this because he just started getting harassed, like, independently of even mentioning Bob but he started going on about like how he like noticed that the account was like weird, like because he had blocked the account that was claiming to be Beltran's niece in the past.
Immediately after tweeting it, right? And he locked it immediately after tweeting the buzzers thing.
Yeah. So he's like, wait, I blocked this person. Like, why the fuck would I have blocked Beltran's niece? Like, and started like digging into it. He started digging into it and was like, oh shit, because this used to be like a completely different account, like, or at least was presenting like under a different handle and stuff. And then like all of a sudden, like when he started like questioning the account, it's like all these like, because like that's the thing that was like the wildest about this guy Bob, is that like anytime anyone like says anything like, oh, like Bob, you're a fucking idiot, like clearly you don't know what, you know, you're making up half this stuff, he will like threaten to fucking murder you. Like, and like he's even gotten the funniest part is he even got fucking KFC Barstool like to fucking like be like to like freak out that he was like he's threatening. Even the Barstool guys are fucking terrified of him.
That's the great thing about Bob, is that he hates literally everybody. He hates literally everybody. There's no like, I'm sure he's definitely like a PC police guy, but he also hates the Barstool guys. Like, he doesn't like anyone at all. He thinks everybody's a fucking moron.
I love this guy. I mean,
the funniest part is even in Robert Silverman like calling out all this stuff, like he has his accounts in there just like threatening to kill him. He's like, oh, you hate Barstool, but now you're calling on them to like save you.
He has 140,000 followers. Like, people listen to this man. People respect all of his opinions and shit.
I don't know about respect, but they listen.
Right. Well, that's true. I mean, he has his guys for sure. He's like, you know.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, this bio is just incredible. Look at this bio. So, first, you know, Incarcerated Bob. First of all, top tier Twitter name. His handle is just Incarcerated Bob.
Fantastic. Phenomenal. Yeah.
And then the name is ID with the charger emoji, which he loves. He loves the charger emoji next to it, like a phone charger.
Oh yeah.
Bio is hashtag. Why does he have hashtags in his bio? I don't know. Hashtag gambling Twitter. Hashtag fantasy football. Hashtag stocks. Hashtag NFL. Hashtag NBA. Hashtag NHL. Hashtag MLB. Hashtag free picks. Prayer hands emoji. Loyalty matters. Dollar sign emoji. Double bars. Receipts champ. Dollar sign S like Seth, and then dollar sign SQ with the rocket ship.
Do you think it's Seth? Or
what is this?
Ethereum.
ETH. Yeah, Ethereum. Great. It's insane. This is an insane bio. It makes zero sense. He's got his email in the bio. I mean, this guy is incredible.
Who had Incarcerated Bob first? Because this is incarceratedbob2@gmail.com.
Right, exactly. Who is the first guy to say Incarcerated Bob? Oh, incredible.
Yeah, man, it is.
Pin tweet about how cool it is that OBJ was paying players. I mean, this guy rules.
I mean, it's so wild. I mean, if anything, it's just like so wild because it kind of like gets to like this whole thing like of how sports Twitter exists, which is like what our friend John makes fun of when he. So not enough people listen to this to really ruin the bit, but like our friend John, like every year loves to like make up a fake MLB Insider account and like
it's so good. It worked so well this year. It worked so well.
He did it last year. Did you follow John in brackets last year? That was
yeah. No, I remember when he did it last year. Yeah.
I mean, he's so good at like speaking to like.
He made it so official. This year he made it so official, looking at the bio and everything.
Yeah,
so good.
Well, but last year he tweeted those fucking pictures of like Machado, like this is the suite they set up for Machado to like do the fucking like contract negotiations. It was just like some random picture he found of like the like of like the corporate suites at Guaranteed Rate. Like it was like he was doing a lot more like picture stuff. So it was like so funny, but it's just it's so funny how there's like this like this just thing of sports Twitter where it's just like people who essentially like sort of use it like Facebook, like, but like that don't have any that don't like use it at all to like be extremely online. Like they just try to use it as sports, and like they just like this is like a legitimate news source, which with any sort of like brain on you, you would figure out it's just like some crazy weird clout machine or like what I don't even know what they're trying to do. Like, you know, like it's just like clearly like run by a psychopath that might be a robot. Like, you know, like, and like these people are just like, I don't understand like what you get from sports when like this is your news source. Like,
it's so good.
Like, what are you getting?
But also,
because you get to be the guy in your friend group who always knows it first. If you follow Incarcerated Bob,
that's
like
true.
The guys who put tweet notifications on for Incarcerated Bob. Those guys definitely exist. They have their group of meathead sports fan friends, and they all want to be the guy who's like always the one who to tell all their friends like the big news of the day. And they're like, oh, how do you know? You're like, I have my ways or whatever, and then you're like the cool guy in the friend group. Like, so many of those guys exist. I see 100 of them in Wrigleyville every fucking weekend when I'm back at home.
You just fucking nailed like the barstool mentality, just like right there.
For sure.
Like that's like White Sox Dave's like entire thing is like oh like I'm gonna be a scoop guy. It's like that's not journalism, dude. Like,
yeah.
That's just being a fucking tin can
guy
on
who
a
beats
string.
out the eyeballs.
Yeah, that's just like why would you even give a shit?
The funny part of that is, the really funny part is that if I was somebody working at an organization and I wanted to leak news totally anonymously and just get it out in the bloodstream, Anonymous Bob is exactly who you would go to.
Incarcerated.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Incarcerated
So
Bob.
you just, what did I say? Anonymous Bob? Incarcerated Bob. What you do is
important that he's in jail.
you email him 3 rumors, 2 of which are horseshit, and 1 of which is absolutely true.
That's true.
He will tweet all 3. It's in the bloodstream. That's exactly what you do. He'll never. You can't reveal.
He's never gonna stop coming back. Yeah.
It's not a question of revealing your sources. You just set up a fake email called like Hot Sports Tip 7.
Right. Nobody would even believe him if he did reveal it. Imagine like the source is like this dude. People would be like, no, like you're wrong. Who's gonna believe him?
I mean,
that's
like,
Incarcerated Bob is 100% right about that.
That's the thing that's so funny about fucking John's bit is that like you literally could just guess and appear that you know something probably like just
right.
by...
If he really wanted to commit to it, he could do the same thing and just delete every single time it was wrong immediately.
Yeah.
And like he would get followers. Like if he really wanted to commit to it, he could get like 20,000 followers. That is tweeting everything, like, and then deleting it all once it was wrong, and then like getting the people that we know that have like decently sized accounts to retweet it.
Yeah.
Really quick, like when
you'd
he
just
gets
be
the
Bob
one right,
Nightingale.
and then
that's what you'd be. You'd be Bob Nightingale.
Well, that's way smarter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Bob Nightingale got to be one of the dumbest journalists alive.
That is really interesting. Like to say like it's like these people like follow this shit, and it is so weird to me to just want to be like the fucking dude who's like, dude, did you see like so and so got it? It's like, well, yeah, we all got the fucking ESPN notification. Like, but like, it kind of reminds me of, I can't remember who was posting about it, but they were talking about how Warren voters like are like the ones who are going psychotic online are the people who were like who thought that they were like the most leftist person that they like know. Like they're like that was like their entire like identity was like, I'm the fucking left person. I'm like the radical person. And then it's like then like Bernie came along and like they had to spend the past 4 years just being like
right.
No. Actually he's like a fucking like he's actually a closet fascist. Like so it's like kind of like that. I feel like it's that same kind of mentality.
He's the fucking Palmer Report guy who was just tweeting yesterday, like, I'm farther left than Bernie. I'm just supporting a centrist Dem because I don't think that his solutions will work. No, you aren't, you moron. You're not farther left than anybody. All of your friends are weak-ass centrists, and you're farther left than them on one position, so you immediately think that you're the farthest left dude possible because you're the farthest left dude you know. And by far left, in this case, I mean, like, he supports sanctuary cities in the abstract. He wouldn't live in a city that is actually a sanctuary city, though. I mean, I knew so many of these guys growing up, you know, going through high school and shit, and it was, and I sort of was one of those guys. It was kind of a shock to the system, you know. I grew up like in a well-off neighborhood. I used to when I was in fucking like when I was a freshman in high school, I used to call myself fiscally conservative, socially liberal. Like I used to say those words out loud. But I went to, Peyton. I got to represent. I went to Peyton, in the middle of the city, selective enrollment school, and we drew kids from all over the city, and I learned what actually being radical in your beliefs was, and what actual hardship was, and then I learned to not be a fucking asshole.
Yeah, no, that definitely, it's the same basic thing happened to me. I remember sophomore year of high school, we had to take our social studies teacher was like, let's take an ideology quiz. And I was the most by the way, I use ideology on the scale of binary left to right, Democrat to Republican. And I was like, I'm the most Democrat. I'm the number one Democrat. And when you find out that there's a whole world open to you, either you slowly move left or quickly move left, or you break your brain and you plant your flag exactly where you were at a certain place in time, and you go, I will never fucking move from this spot. I will die on this fucking spot. Yeah. And that's Warren voters. Those are Warren voters. Yeah. Yeah. When did you graduate from Peyton, by the way? What year?
17.
Oh, okay. I got a friend from Peyton, but I don't think you know him. He's older.
Noah's a baby. He's a baby.
Yes.
Yeah, very true.
We got the youth on. We're trying to get the youth
demographic
here.
This is my old softball jersey. My old 16-inch jersey. These are the throwbacks that they got us.
That's the official
these are the
sport.
throwbacks that they got us my senior year. We went to the city championship 3 years in a row. Sophomore, junior, senior year. We only won one though.
Damn, you had a high school fucking 16-inch softball league?
There's a league in Chicago. Yeah, it's CPS
Holy
league.
Fuck.
There's about 40 teams.
Oh,
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So what are they doing?
Well, hold on. For those who don't know, I feel like I have to explain. It's 16-inch softball. I don't know if we've covered it on this show, but so softball was the actual game was invented in Chicago because people wanted to play baseball inside in a gym. So they built
and also it was 2 reasons. One of them was that, and one of them was because public parks had such little space that you couldn't play baseball in them. So they had to come up with a sport that fit the smaller.
Yeah.
Capacity.
So softball in Chicago can mean a completely separate thing, where it's an actual softball. It's this giant fucking leather sack filled with rags. And you play with no glove, and you can probably hit the thing 100 feet or so. I would say is the furthest you can really get one. So it's
you gotta really get the sweet spot.
It's much more leisurely. It's an actual recreation activity as opposed to 12-inch softball, which is probably what everybody knows is softball.
Right. Right.
Because that, no one wants to play the infield because you'll get fucking decapitated half the time.
Yeah, if you're
is 16-inch 9-on-9? Is it 9-on-9?
It's 10.
Oh, yeah.
It's 10
on that's right. 10.
Yeah. So the thing with 16-inch, though, is if you're using a real 16-inch ball, which they, again, only make in Chicago, Chicago's the only place that plays bare hand 16-inch. There are a couple other places that play 16-inch with gloves, which is kind of stupid. LA does it. Very dumb.
Okay.
Anyways,
well,
Chicago
cool,
and the suburbs is the only places with bare hand 16-inch, and if you play with a real ball, you're in danger. I mean, you're breaking fingers. I had a friend who
jammed the hell out of my fingers a bunch of times.
I had a friend who made a catch in left field one time in his senior year, and he just came running straight into the dugout as he made the catch because he knew it was bad. And it turned out he tore his ligament. He tore a ligament in his finger off, mostly off of the bone. And it was his finger was bent the wrong way for 3 months. It was insane. Just gross.
At Illinois, we played one season. In IMs, we had one season of 12 and one season of 16. So we were it was a very Liz Warren position on softball at Illinois. Once again, Liz Warren just. Do you really want this woman to be president? I don't think anyone watching this show would say this. I'm more speaking to the person I had brunch with yesterday. She's still upset with me. We got into a whole thing with Liz Warren. All I'm saying is you should only be playing 16-inch softball. Only play the good version of something.
I just want to say this, as I've put a lot of thought into it, and I've really considered every angle, and I personally am going to endorse both 12 and 16-inch softball. It's a dual endorsement. Just whatever you want to take away from that.
As long as women play both sports, you're endorsing, right?
Well,
as long as women play the sport.
Yes.
Well, 16
is all about women.
I will say, like, 16 is kind of like, it's sort of unwoke here. I'm pulling it up on the screen. That's a 16-inch softball with a man who's taped his fingers because you will jam the hell. I mean, it will fucking go right on the top of your fingers and you'll fuck it up.
Oh yeah,
But, you know, 16-inch softball does play a role in women's oppression when it comes to baseball. So, you know, we must acknowledge that, but also move on, you know, because it is an awesome sport. It's incredible. That reminds me, I need to start one. My whole thing when I came to North Carolina is I was going to be, like, the fucking, like, Johnny Appleseed of 16-inch softball and try to, like, get it at work. But unfortunately, I'm a programmer, so, like, no, like, even just, like, finding someone to go use the basketball hoop is difficult. So, yeah. What were we? How did we get on this? We were on the Buzzer conspiracy.
with the programming thing, have you considered gaming?
Foosball is that's where the middle ground.
Oh, they won't even game.
Honestly, not really. We have like this big. We have this big gaming thing. And I downloaded, dude. I installed the cracked version of Jam with all the new players and all that. I got like 2 games out of it. Like they literally walk up and they're like, "Oh, a sports game. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to figure that out." I'm like, God damn it.
Good Lord.
Like, this is a video
How could
game.
you not like NBA Jam? Jesus Christ.
I'm starting to think, if Southpaws has a live show, I think it needs to be in Chicago. It's going to be a fucking day-long thing. It's going to be a 16-inch softball game. We're not even going to have a live show. We're just going to play 16-inch softball. And then retire to the bar and then play an NBA Jam tournament. There we go. That's the live show right there. It's coming to Chicago. We're organizing a live fucking show, but it's a 16-inch softball game.
I'm gonna whack the hell out of that ball.
Do you think Felix plays? Does Felix play? I'm gonna tweet at him right now if he plays 16-inch softball. We gotta find out. We gotta get Felix behind. What's his @ right now? Is it?
By Your Logic?
It's By Your Logic.
Oh yeah, By Your
Logic.
Okay.
I wonder if he plays. That'd be interesting. I wonder if Slater plays. We gotta get Slater out here.
Oh, Slater definitely plays. I've talked to Slater about 16-inch softball. All true Illinois heads know.
Well, of course.
I can honestly say I didn't know, but I come from the sticks, so.
Yeah, you're not a true Illinois head. As everybody knows, the state of Illinois is Chicago.
It's true.
And then there's some other stuff, but we don't talk about that. Chicago is Illinois.
I'm even from downstate.
Nate, are you a Chicago segregationist?
Am
These are my favorite people. The downstate. No, I'm saying Nate. Are you the downstate people who say
Nate's
the
from
Chicagoland
the
area?
I'm actually from downstate.
No, I'm not from the goddamn burb.
I'm saying.
Morris is not a burb. What's wrong with you?
What's not a burb?
Morris, Illinois is not a burb.
Or south
No, it's not. Yeah, it's not a burb. You're right.
Have you ever heard of Morris?
Illinois is not a burb.
Are you
Are
you south of 80,
I've heard of it
Nathan?
once.
Yeah, the geographical
Are you
distinction.
south of 80? Are you south of 80?
Yeah, my house is technically south of 80. Yes.
If you're south of 80, then yes, you can join the downstate congregation.
This sounds like some real prescriptive
my
stuff
favorite
going
people,
on.
My favorite people in the world are the downstate Illinois folks who want the Chicagoland area to be separated from the rest of the state and made its own state. These people exist. They are a viable political bloc in the state of Illinois, and they are my favorite people in the world.
Think about it. Like, fucking when...
it would be bad.
When Pat
that
Quinn,
would be bad.
When Pat Quinn went up against, what's-his-face, the guy who was the governor before Pritzker.
Rauner?
Remember, Rauner won every county but Cook County and almost lost the election. That's how much people fucking hate Chicago. Literally, like, the governor of Illinois 4 years ago won every county except for the county that Chicago is in, and almost lost.
And the county that he was from. He's from Cook County. That's the funniest part.
Yeah.
He sent his daughter to Peyton. He bullshitted his daughter into Peyton because they pretended they got a fake house, fake address in the city, which a lot of people do. If you live in the suburbs, they got a fake address in the city that they pretended their daughter lived at, so they could send her to Peyton.
Do you, grimy, but also do you do you two know about Forgottonia?
No. What is
No.
that?
Oh, here's some downstate knowledge I can shower upon you.
Yeah.
There was a movement in, I believe, the 60s and 70s for the western, not exactly where I am, but the western bulge of the state to secede and become its own state called Forgottonia to protest corrupt Chicago politicians for getting to invest any money into that part of the state, the western part of the state. And that's how we feel about you, city slickers. That's how we feel about you guys, huh? Peyton?
Okay.
I bet you love hot dogs, huh?
City slickers.
I'm just kidding.
Good Lord.
I like Chicago. I bridged the gap.
In terms of the amount of times I've been south of, like, the Chicago area, not going to Champaign, or one time I visited Knox, too. Not going to a college, I can count on, like, one hand. And one time was for a baseball tournament in Jacksonville, Illinois, my senior year of high school. You guys know Jacksonville?
Oh, I know Jacksonville. That's where I'm from, around
So we were down in Jacksonville, and I was going – so we only had 2 black guys on our baseball team, first of all.
Let's preface this with Jacksonville is probably one of the most Klan active areas in Illinois.
Right, 100%. So I was going to get lunch. I was going to get lunch with my one friend who's now playing baseball at Miami of Ohio, by the way. Benji, shout out, Benji Brokemond. Anyways, we were going to get lunch at Steak and Shake because the 2 things that Jacksonville, Illinois has are 18 baseball fields at one incredibly weird location and every single fast food strain, no demand. They had everything there.
Welcome
every
to
single
Central Illinois, baby.
Anyways,
I love it.
we were going to Steak and Shake. We were walking down the road, and all of a sudden, a pickup truck races past us with no less than 12 Confederate flags on the truck.
Oh yeah, man.
Fuck yeah.
That was great.
Yeah.
Are you originally from Chicago? Like, are you born and raised Chicago?
Yeah, the actual city. Yeah.
It is wild to me, and I am, by the way, the New York Times of Illinois, in that I endorse downstate and Chicago. I love both. There seems to be I don't like the rivalry at all, but there's no rivalry. Chicago wins.
Big both sides guy.
Good, but both sides. But it blows my fucking mind how many people are born and raised in Chicago, and they're just like, yeah, no, I think I've been like downstate Illinois like 2-3 times maybe.
Yeah.
Like, you're 24 years old. What is wrong with you?
Why would I go down there? What can I find in downstate Illinois that I can't find in Michigan or Wisconsin?
Beautiful Americana.
Maybe
Beautiful.
you've heard of a little band called American Football. A little band called American Football. Never, man. We invented that shit. I don't, maybe.
The beautiful I&M Canal. Beautiful Starved Rock State Park. Beautiful Shawnee.
Anyways, this is devolving.
Starved Rock is the only thing I would like to go to in downstate Illinois.
This is not devolving.
This conversation has devolved. This conversation has devolved.
It's evolving. We're evolving. Downstate versus Chicago is a rivalry as old as time.
See, this does really just the last thing I want to say about this is this basically speaks to that Kushbaum tweet where it's very funny that like things like people like Nate Silver, like they're like, oh well, Klobuchar like really speaks to Midwesterners, and it's like, look at the fucking like there's like balkanization that like we're just like explaining on this show, like where it's just like, oh yeah, like I would never fucking travel 3 counties away because like that's a bunch of fucking goat humpers.
Every state in the Midwest hates every other state in the Midwest.
Exactly.
There are no 2 states in the Midwest that are like, oh, I fucking love Minnesota. No, nobody likes Minnesota. If you're not from Wisconsin, you don't like Wisconsin. It's not like
I like Minnesota, but I do agree 100% with the exact wording of the tweet, which was if you're a Midwestern state, you hate every state that touches your state.
Right, that touches you. Yeah, that's 100% true. That's 100% true because I don't actually hate Minnesota either, but I 100% hate Iowa. Iowa, awful.
Idiots out walking around is what that stands for.
Woo!
Woo!
Wisconsin
Midwest jokes,
Indiana.
baby.
Indiana, get the fuck out of here. Missouri, trash. Kentucky's fine, but that's because it's not in the Midwest. So,
I would even say Missouri's not in the Midwest. I'm a big truther.
It's not, but Missouri's Midwest.
It's a southern state.
Missouri's Midwest adjacent, whereas Kentucky's full south.
Yeah.
Missouri's like a tweener.
Yeah. Anyways,
Southern Illinois. The Southern Illinois is basically. Continue.
Tighten it up.
This is tight. I'm feeling tight.
I've had four beers, which is like the most I've had on the show in a while. So, I'm quitting my job, so I'm like in the middle of like not caring. So I'm getting a huge raise to leave my job.
Perfect.
So
do you guys want to shit talk Northwestern now, or are we going to do like the stuff we're supposed to?
We already shit talk with Northwestern.
You can shit talk. We haven't even talked about how bad our basketball team is yet. I mean, unless
we
can
have a 19.
I want to do the Dinwiddie stuff. I want to do the Dinwiddie stuff. Let's
the Dinwiddie stuff is very funny.
At the very end, can we do a 1984 2 Minutes of Hate style thing?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Let's proceed.
Anything for the officiant of my marriage. So
I got compliments.
Nathan was told that he should be a professional. Anyways, so Spencer Dinwiddie, Nathan found this. He was talking about so I didn't realize that he is like kind of like what's his name from Golden State, Iguodala. Like he's kind of like an on crack Iguodala, where
is he a crypto guy?
I would say he's on
as a player.
He's no,
as a player, you mean?
Not as a player, but as
a guy.
Is an off the court presence.
Iguodala's much more down to earth. Yeah, no, Iguodala's. I think Iguodala's like a.
Iguodala is like a Silicon Valley brained guy. Like
now he is. But he's like an adopted Silicon Valley brain guy. He's not like doing startups, I mean, where's he from?
He is doing startups.
Yeah, but the converts are the most dangerous, as we all know.
You want to talk about
converts are always the most dangerous.
Downstate guy here. I knew he was from fucking downstate.
Iguodala's
a Springfield boy.
No
Iguodala, he's from Springfield.
He is. No, he's
shit.
I knew that.
Well, Springfield
there's like 3 different downstate guys.
I'm not from Springfield. That's a fucking hell.
Iguodala, Livingston, all those guys.
Anyways,
Van Vliet too.
Yes, Van Vliet.
Gotta give it up for Fred.
Yeah, that's true.
The biggest miss in John Gross' Illini tenure. Don't at me.
Van Vliet? That's the biggest miss? There were a lot of big misses.
He would have gone to Illinois in a heartbeat if they gave him an offer, and he would have been the best player on the team. Not a joke.
That's true.
Fred Van Vliet.
Anyways.
I'm not going to defend John Gross to you.
So Dinwiddie is trying to like come up with this dumbass like blockchain, Ethereum powered fucking essentially all it is.
Every NBA player's brain is so broken. Everyone.
Exactly.
And especially the ones on the Nets.
So he is trying to like come up with this token is what he calls it. An investment engineer or an investment instrument that's like essentially like some sort of like he's convincing the Nets to like pay his contract like as a business loan or something, and like
right.
The way I understand it, because it's very nebulous. Like there is no explanation to how this thing works. Like I'm looking at his like official PR release. Like they just keep talking about like, well, if the athlete performs well,
it's a classic like Bitcoin shit where all they say is they say variations of the word the blockchain over and over for like 10 minutes until you stop.
I just want to say, like, as someone who's actually worked on the blockchain, like I worked at fucking IBM, I have developed the blockchain. Yeah. There's no reason for this to be on the blockchain. Like all this does is like he's putting the blockchain on it to like give it a little panache, and all it really is, the only thing it could like give you any sort of value is to be like, well, it's a verified thing from Spencer Dinwiddie. Like that's all it's extremely from him. Like, which I don't think that was ever a concern. Anyways. It's very nebulous on like how it's working. He keeps talking about like he's really just like nailing the Silicon Valley type talk where he goes, oh, like this is like a big opportunity. He got in this whole fight with the NBA, where they were like threatening to kick him out of the league, apparently. And he called them. What did he call them? What was the quote that I pulled up here? Let me. What was it? It was he calls them an old legacy system. He calls them a legacy system, which like. I love this. As someone who's a software engineer, I love hearing people talk about, like, with software terms, about not software. Like, it's just, like, literally... Because, like, I hate using the word, like, legacy. Because, like, legacy system means, like, just, like, old-ass piece of software. Like, that's all it means. And he's like, oh, legacy systems generally do fear that type of thing. I have never heard anyone call like an old company a legacy system. Like,
yeah, he's just trying so hard to like force. He's like, see, I'm hip. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Let me just use the words from the one thing to apply them to the other one.
And like, it has a negative connotation too, so you can use it as like.
Yeah, so that means exactly. Yeah.
It's very. It has very much like person who doesn't know how to code but wants to make a lot of money off of coding. Like,
well, it's
which,
still,
like,
personally,
personally...
It's like a pure distillation in Silicon Valley energy, which is trying to find the most complicated metaphor for everything, because that's how people know you're smart, is if you do a complicated metaphor for everything that relates to your field of expertise, it makes you a smart person.
Oh, yeah.
That's what makes you smart.
But that's the thing.
Knowing how to say words.
That's the thing about, like, as someone... So, like, I am a software engineer. I have mentioned this just today and before... But, like, listening to people who are not software engineers but want to be, like, software-minded, like, talk about this shit, like, I do use, like I said, I use that word, legacy system, like, all the time. I used it in an interview the other day because I was talking about some old-ass software that I have to maintain. But, like, people love to fucking do this, and that is 100% the worst part about software engineering, is people... who fucking, like, just, like, don't even know how to fucking code, like, just, like, going out and being like, yeah, I made my fucking contract in the blockchain, and, like, I'm offering it up to engage the fan experience. It's just, like, it's so much like a fucking, like, product owner talk that, like, of, like, no one who's ever even fucking, like, developed software, like, would go on about, and, like, then, like, I'm sure there's someone associated with this. There's someone associated with this that, like, has to actually figure this out, and is just like as soon as Dinwiddie leaves the room, he's just like, what a fucking moron. Like,
so what I think it actually is as far as I can understand, what he's saying is that he has a $34 million contract over 3 years, and he would like all of the money now. So what I think he wants to do. Like, yeah. Is sell $34 million of contract bucks. And then I think what he's trying to do is invest the $34 million back into different things, because that's the only way that he's going to be able to pay.
That's what I assume too.
Yeah.
But the interest that he's paying on this thing is apparently outrageous. It's like 4.5% on a bond. Because that's what he's selling it as, is a bond. And... So, the thing is he keeps
where does
talking
that 4.5% come from? Where does it come from?
Keeps talking about. So, I think what it basically is if he picks up the player option that he has in the 4th year of the bond. I think is what, like, how he's actually... I don't think it's an actual investment. Like, I think it's just, like, basically he's taking out a really bad loan that if he has to pay out at 4.5% and does not perform well, he's going to get shaken down.
Absolutely.
But it's powered by the blockchain, so it's different.
And so
he's just taking out the loan that athletes always take out. Like, I mean, every time they go fucking bankrupt, like, when they can't perform.
Right.
This is really what he's doing.
There was an interesting... They had a guy on the Ringer, one of the many tentacled Ringer podcasts, kind of try to explain it. And he's basically saying, like, so 4.5%, or you could have, like, a government bond, literally just federal government bond, and get interest of 3%, or for an extra 1.5%, you could take the riskiest bet you've ever taken in your life. Like that's the options for you. Is you could have a little bit, 3% or 4 or 5% for a thing that literally has like a 50% chance of blowing up. Like, who's ready? Who's ready to invest?
Well, that's what's like so funny about the whole thing is like he keeps like saying it's like oh, like the NBA should be embracing this because this is like a new form of fan engagement that no one's ever thought about before, and it's like the bond is a bare minimum investment of $150,000. Like, no one is gonna engage with this. Fans. Yeah, like no fan. Right. Like is going to engage with this, like maybe some sort of investment.
Yeah, he'll get Jay-Z and Beyonce in on it.
Yeah,
you know, the first fans of the Brooklyn Nets.
That would be so fucking smart from them. Is that they own the team,
right?
They
buy all
$34 million. They break his fucking kneecaps when he doesn't pay.
Right. The Nets as a team are just insane. Have you got? I mean, we talked about the Kyrie stuff a little bit in the DM before.
Yeah, bring it up.
The whole Nets. The whole Nets shenanigans are ridiculous. I mean, Kyrie Irving is on another level right now. This was in the DM with you guys, right? Where you Nate, you posted the Julius Irving thing, because there's a lot of Kyrie stuff right now. The Julius Irving is my favorite because not only is it like he's doing like this weird like I can relate to Kyrie in this moment because I've done these like jokes that aren't actually that funny and carry on for too long things before. Kyrie's like, the last time the Nets won a championship was Julius Irving. Now they have Kyrie Irving. Coincidence? Like, I've done that kind of shitty-ass joke before. Yeah, nobody laughs, and you just want to keep pushing it. The issue is that Kyrie clearly, like, if you read the whole thing, he clearly doesn't understand that the teammates he's telling don't think it's funny. He thinks that they don't get it.
Hate him.
Like, he's talking to, like, Torian Prince, and he's like, yeah, do you not get it? Like, Irving. Do you get it? It's like, no, Kyrie, they understand. They're not morons. It's just not it's not funny, and it doesn't make any sense. And then he's doing this stuff, like, first of all, the thing where he was like, man, we need better players after he went, like, 6 for 25 2 days ago. He was doing this shit. He's been doing this all year.
Did you see the full statement? So then lead up to the final one, which is the real kicker of the special day of the holiday today. He has a quote, but he did say that we have a lot of complementary players on this team, but we don't have the firepower to win a championship.
And then didn't he name players too?
He stated we need to build around me, KD, DeAndre Jordan, Karis LeVert, Dinwiddie. He named 6 guys, and then the other.
It's such an awkward amount to name. You can name like 2 or 3, or you can name like 12, but you can't name 6. That's
because
like the worst amount to name.
Because 6 means I have thought about every single player.
I've thought about all of you, and I'm excluding 8 of you in particular. And then he was like, and then he apologized, and he did my favorite apology, which he loves to do this shit. He was like, I just apologize to all the guys for the misinterpretations of it. There's no misinterpretation of anything. You specifically said 6 guys are the future. Who's misinterpreting that? Nobody's misinterpreting it. You're just a dumbass. Don't apologize for the misinterpretation.
Wait. But he doesn't have to apologize because he's actually fake. Kyrie Irving also is probably at risk of being shot dead by a white supremacist that was programmed by the CIA.
And by white supremacists, you mean the FBI, right? You mean the
FBI, excuse
me.
You
guys see what happened on Twitter today? You guys see what happened on Twitter today? One of my favorite accounts got banned. We were talking about. I think we were talking about him in. I think it was one of our DMs. We were talking about him in it. Jabuki Young White. Do you guys know about Jabuki, the best Daily Show writer?
Yes.
So his latest bit is that he keeps doing this. He loves to do this. His biggest tweet with this was with the Cats tweet. He changes his. This has been a Twitter bit for a while now, but he changes the @ to or he doesn't change the @ He changes his Twitter name to the name of the thing, and then the profile picture to the profile picture of the thing. But he has the verified check still from his name. Like the first person to do this was Alex Starbuck with Italian Elon Musk. A classic bit, absolutely classic bit.
Yes,
one of the greatest of all time. So he's been doing this. The first one was with Cats, right? Like when the Cats trailer was hitting big, and he was like, all the cats in Cats 2019 have realistic spiked penises, and he tweeted it with the Cats handle and the verify check, and they like banned him for 7 days for it because people were going crazy. Recently, he was doing what he did one with like Justin Bieber, like saying some dumbass shit. Today he changed it to the FBI and the FBI profile pic and tweeted, "Just because we killed Martin Luther King doesn't mean we don't have to remember him today." And they got banned for that. Incredible tweet. Just incredible.
We love you.
So good. Anyway, so by white supremacist, you meant the FBI, right, Adam?
Yes, that's what I meant. I've read the CIA's external threats and the FBI's internal threats. Yeah, sorry, I forgot the chain of command. I only remember. I just knew my handler is with the CIA.
Do you have the audio for that tweet for the
tweet?
Kyrie MLK one. The audience needs to hear. This is so good.
MLK
Here, wait, hold on. We sent it in here. Yeah, we did. Here's Spencer Dinwiddie. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, just scroll up a little bit.
All right, you guys got it? Ready?
Oh yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Are we all gonna play the same time?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, play.
And when I was out for those 7 weeks and not saying anything, and still people are still saying things about me, it's inevitable. They crucified Martin Luther King for speaking about peace and social integration. You could go back to historical leaders and great people.
Like Jesus. You go back to historical leaders like Jesus.
I know what I stand for. I'm a great family man. I have great values, core values.
Go back to people in society.
Game at the end of the
great
day.
thing.
It's dramatized. It's entertainment for people and fans. I'm a human being at the end of the day. I'm going to keep on reiterating that. But like I said, my focus is making sure my teammates are great and our organization is at a championship level. And when I was out...
He's smiling through the whole thing. He 100% planned every part of that statement.
Dude, Kyrie is a wild man, dude.
He was coming in and he was like, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to tell them they crucified me like Martin Luther King. Just the way they famously crucified Martin Luther King for wanting peace. That's why they crucified him.
Famous crucifixion.
He got it all wrong. He got it all wrong. He said, that they crucified Martin Luther King. I guess he's referring to the media, which, okay,
the sports
that's
media.
insane.
No, the sports media.
Dude, Martin Luther King he played with his back to the basket.
Famously not the thing that got Martin Luther King killed was the wanting peace. It was being radical after he achieved the things he achieved. It was his radicalization. It was the radicalness of his positions afterwards. Kyrie knows nothing about anything. He's 100% wrong about all the things he says. And
I don't know.
On top of that, it's the most ridiculous comparison of all time.
I don't know. I sometimes want to think that Kyrie is like an Andy Kaufman, but he like wants to be like he wants to be like he wants to do a whole thing where he's like I'm just gonna say outrageous things because like the game, like you know what I mean.
But he's not a poor black guy. This man went to Duke.
Well, but
for a year, but he went to Duke.
That means nothing.
He also never played. The other thing about Duke is the entire time he never played at Duke.
He's not a guy.
He never played at Duke because he like had like a weird injury.
Right.
So, like maybe he just made it up. Like he knows. Maybe he knows.
This isn't the guy that we've all heard the stories about. Like it's not a Derrick Rose. He's not that guy.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
He's not a dumb guy. Nobody thinks he is.
I think
if you think Kyrie Irving's dumb, you're probably if you just think he's like a stupid person based on his background, you're probably just a racist.
I think he's doing like a combination Andy Kaufman,
right?
Like fucking Dave Chappelle, and like just professional wrestling thing. Like I think he just knows he's just having fun playing the game. Like. He's just being fucking wild as hell.
I think he would have played off the flat Earth thing better if that was the case, though. I think he would have turned it into something bigger.
I don't know. I mean,
the way he played it off was essentially being like, "I'm sort of stupid." Like he didn't like play it off well in the end.
Yeah, that's true.
No,
that's true.
I don't think this is. I don't think any of this is bits. But I don't think he. I think he's. I know plenty of people. No, I know plenty of people who are a level of intelligent where they have curiosity and they want and they have like their curiosity is there, the openness to the world is there, the openness to want to grow and learn is there.
Joe Rogan
but also
fans.
they just I mean which is better than just being a dullard and being like I'm fucking stupid and I love it. I don't need to learn. So Kyrie's like, I want to learn. Give me more info. I want to learn. But also he gets drawn for. So he gets drawn
it's
for the
not
most
so much that he
insane
wants to
information.
learn. It's just that I think that I could be right immediately when I find the wildest thing possible.
Right, he has confirmation bias because
Yeah.
he believes that he is so important that anything he learns is instantly 100% true, and that he is the most well-educated person on that subject.
I mean, I can
So that's
only
why he
imagine. I personally have like horrible social anxiety about these things. Like I can only imagine being like this famous, like where I was just like, oh yeah, like also I never would ever actually get told if I was wrong about something. Like,
Right, exactly.
you know
That's
what
the
I
thing.
mean?
We would all be like Kyrie. Like if I got catapulted into fame instantly, I'd be the same way. I'd have like 12 sycophants outside my door every day, and I'd be like, okay, I'm right about everything. I guess I've never been wrong, and I would just say everything that came to my brain. Because I would just believe that everything was correct. That's the same reason that like a guy like going back to Derrick Rose, a guy like Derrick Rose got in trouble because he believes that everything he says is correct because all his life everybody's been telling him that everything he does is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know?
That's why Kevin Durant. Two things. One, that's why Kevin Durant is the best kind of like nuts on the net because like he knows this and he decided to never talk to anyone and just post.
Right.
Like that's the only way to do it. That's the only way.
Kevin Durant hates everybody. He's decided that he hates everybody and he's just going to post. Which
And
is
that
the
is
best
correct.
mentality to have.
To that level of fame, absolutely. And the two, I have to say, I Googled this just now, and I didn't find anything, and I was very disappointed. I Googled Kyrie Irving, Jeffrey Epstein, and no one has asked him. No one's asked him. How has no one asked him about that?
The net's broken. The Nets beat is broken. We need an insider on the Nets beat. Kyrie, I guarantee you this. Kyrie Irving has the most interesting opinion out there on Jeffrey Epstein. It's something that we haven't been considered.
He knows who killed Jeffrey Epstein.
Alpha brain into the quantum levels. You know, David Roth is always tweeting that shit about Trump. Like whenever whenever Trump does some crazy shit, he does that bit where he quote tweets him with like Alpha King brain into the nth dimension or some shit. That's Kyrie. Whenever somebody asks Kyrie about Jeffrey Epstein, he's gonna have a take that nobody has even pondered before. Nobody's even like thought that it existed. His take is going to be like, not only is Jeffrey Epstein a psyop by the CIA, but Jeffrey Epstein is actually a child who has like reverse Benjamin Button disease and has been abused by the children who actually have Benjamin Button disease and are adults. That's the Kyrie take. It's actually all reversed. It's all incorrect.
Not only is Jeffrey Epstein, not only do they fake his death, Jeffrey Epstein was never in jail. He was never. And you know what? Not only was he never in jail, jail doesn't exist.
That's true. Jail was a psyop. Have you ever seen a prison cell in real life? Have you ever seen a prison cell in real life? Didn't think so.
Never.
Jail doesn't exist.
Never. Jail is not real.
Unlike you guys, I am a white person who went to jail. So.
Right.
You're fucking psyoping me right now.
That's true. It might be.
The CIA got to you, Adam. The CIA got to you.
That's true. It was actually my handler realized that I realized jail was not real, and then they took me to a fake jail.
Right.
Yeah.
Some virtual reality shit. They put the VR headset on, and you didn't even know.
Yes. So Noah, as we head into the end, what song do you want us to play as we get out of here?
Are we doing the Northwestern hate or no?
No, we are, but I'm trying to download the song because I forgot to, so I'm gonna ask Noah.
We can do it over the song.
Any song?
Yeah, what are you listening to?
Any song?
Yeah. As long as
I've
on
recently
YouTube,
been listening to a lot of Paris, which is my new favorite band. Thanks to shout out my friend Scarlett who put me on. It's actually spelled P-Bris, P-V-R-I-S.
P-B-R-I-S.
P-V, V as in Veronica.
Okay, P-V.
R-I-S, yeah.
R-I-S.
And
okay.
I would say everybody should listen to them. They're very good.
And then, but yeah, we can do some Northwestern hate.
Yeah, dude, give it to me. Feed it to me. I know you guys are bursting at the seams after the 5th straight hat win. I know you guys are feeling it. The Lowell Trophy is back in Evanston again, folks, and it never left.
Well, see, you forgot that we don't watch
We
football,
shouldn't have even
so
taken
we
it
don't
down.
give a
We
shit.
shouldn't have even taken it down to Champaign. We shouldn't have even brought it down to Champaign. That's how confident we were.
I don't even
Shouldn't have
really
brought it
remember
down.
what you're talking about because I haven't watched football in so long. I can't remember the
Right.
trophies.
I have to brag about football, okay? It's my only thing.
Our starting quarterback was injured. That's what happened.
That's accurate.
Nathan,
You know,
do you know
what,
things
you know what's also
about the
accurate?
game?
You know what's also accurate, Nathan? We were on our 4th string quarterback, Nathan. We were on our 4th string quarterback. So, you know.
I know, but the drop-off of Northwestern quarterbacks from 1st to 4th.
He's one prior pass attempt with an interception. In his entire career, he had one pass attempt and it was an interception.
Again, what's the difference between 4th and 1st string? I can't see the difference.
They all have different names, and they're different shades of white, Nathan, okay?
There's Connor,
they're very different shades of white.
Yeah, there's
you want to know the actual names? You want to know the actual names? This year, the depth chart was...
Can I guess?
Yeah. Yeah,
Connor, Chase, a white kid named Jet, and a white kid named Jason, but spelled Jahysysen.
Jason was in the quarterback depth chart. He moved to superback in the middle of the season and then moved back to quarterback after that. So here's the depth chart. We have a TJ to lead it off. He's coming back for his 6th year as a senior next year. 6th-year senior coming back next year. Solid. Hunter, of course. Hunter Johnson. Love him. And his name is Hunter. Aiden, who Northwestern Athletics in 2016, Northwestern Athletics posted a video on their YouTube of a quarterback's Christmas in which Aiden Smith received a MAGA shirt from somebody whose face he can't see and beamed about it. Was ecstatic. And they put that on YouTube right after the election. Insane shit. So Aiden was 3rd string. Andrew was 4th string. Jason was 5th string. And 6th string was Zach, ZAC. So phenomenal depth chart right there.
Yep. Yes. Yep.
I can't think of
my favorite part
specifically I can think of like about Northwestern that I hate, other than like the fact that we blew going to the tournament the year that they went to the tournament for the first time ever. That was pretty brutal. And then when Brad Underwood consistently kept losing to them. So that was awesome. That was pretty brutal.
What can I say? Ooh, I have a good one.
I will say, I almost went to Northwestern, and then I met a guy who went to Northwestern who is really, really enthusiastic about me going there. And after spending about 3 hours with him, I knew that that was never going to happen. He made a
That's my trick. I've never
tubing
spent
trip
3 consecutive hours with anybody at this school.
There you go.
Right, that's my
what can I say
my
about
secret. I've
this?
never spent 3 consecutive hours with anybody at this school.
What can I say?
Also, Northwestern's alumni list is much worse than ours.
Let me get it out.
Okay, go.
The N, the logo of the N. What font is that?
Yeah,
incredibly
it
awful.
Fucking sucks.
One of the worst fonts in all of Power 5. Chris
100%,
Collins.
100% right.
Chris Collins looks like a character who would be on The Sopranos season 2 or 3, and would be extorted. No, he'd be a regular person who'd be extorted by Tony Soprano because he got like $40,000 in debt for
this is what Chris Collins does for 60% of every Big Ten games. He crosses his arms like this and shrinks his chin into his chest like a petulant child.
Yeah. It's like he would want his life goal is to open up a tchotchke shop, and then Tony's the only one that will loan him the money. And then he loses it, and then Tony just breaks both of his kneecaps. What else?
And that's why he's on his hands and knees in that famous GIF from the Michigan game.
You
ever seen that GIF?
Yeah, I have seen it. I've seen it.
Hilarious.
We make fun of Northwestern basketball for being too white. There's very few players of color on Northwestern's basketball team, but it still is actually the most diverse thing about Evanston, Illinois. So that's a good one.
For this episode, except for this part.
Yeah,
I got an extensive list of notes right now.
The NCAT is the only valid logo. I do not like the block N either. The old NCAT logo was much better. With the
I was gonna
cat
say
laid on
the MCAT is actually the only valid thing that anyone's ever done at the University of Northwestern.
Wait, I got one. All the buildings at Northwestern look like castles. They look like all the professors would be kings, like very stately kind of bricks. And it is kind of like a castle in that all the Northwestern professors have syphilis that's eating at their brains.
We do have a Holocaust denier professor in the physics in the engineering school. So not entirely wrong. The guy is like a legit admitted Holocaust denier, but they can't fire him because he has tenure and he's an engineering professor, so it doesn't affect his teaching.
So Nathan,
or they could actually because they're a private
school.
They don't.
Did you get all your good ones? I got the last one.
Do yours, and I'll try and think of more.
No. I got the final one. I got the final one.
Okay.
Okay.
Go for it. I got the Evanston one was good, so go with yours.
Okay. My final one is that actually Illinois was one of like 3 colleges to invent the internet, so we're actually better posters just by virtue of going to the college than Northwestern will ever be.
Right. I mean, that is
That's
fair.
True.
The 2 most followed Twitter accounts from former Northwestern people are Darren Ravel and Mike Wilbon, 2 of the worst accounts.
We actually have Mike Cernovich, so I don't know if you know about him. Great poster.
Great poster. Well, we also have a Fox News guy. Guy Benson went to Medill. He replies to some of my tweets sometimes from Inside You, and I want to just fucking. It gets me really pissed off. But yeah, we have the best poster on the entire on all of Twitter. Ooh. I think Britt McHenry, as we all know, the best poster on the entire Twitter sphere. And she was
I had a coworker. I still have a coworker who was a very high powered journalist in her day, in the 70s through 90s. She was in the White House press corps team, and she taught for a while at Medill, and called them the most entitled, spoiled brats she ever met.
100% true.
That's a good one.
I know many Medill kids, and that is very true.
I will say one nice thing about Northwestern is the only woman I would ever risk it all, Rachel Nichols. She is an alumni. I would risk it all. I would risk it all for Rachel Nichols. I'm just saying, do you guys have maybe she could do grad school. Duchess? What?
Do you guys have a Duchess alum of your school? Is there any English royalty?
So you actually you're a monarchist, Noah, is what you're saying.
I am. I'm fine with that.
Noah, our school actually is a training ground for the monarchy. Noah says, thinking that's some sort of sick burn.
As our guest.
I think we're just going to throw out Premier Land Grant College of the state of Illinois.
Okay, here's all I have to say. Northwestern football has beaten Illinois football 5 times in a row. Northwestern women's basketball has beaten Illinois women's basketball 9 times in a row. Northwestern softball has beaten Illinois softball 8 times in a row. Those are the 3 coolest college sports that exist because my opinion is the correct one, and therefore Northwestern is better than Illinois in all facets. Sorry about it.
Fucking nerd. You're a fucking nerd.
What about Illinois tennis? Fucking beat the shit out of Northwestern tennis.
Northwestern women's tennis destroys Illinois women's tennis. So,
do you have any good, Noah? Do you have any good riffs? I'll give you any like jokes or any roast jokes on Illinois. Now is your time. Speak your piece. We'll sit here and we'll laugh if they're good. I promise you, I'll laugh if they're good.
That's true.
Yeah. I made a visit. I made a visit to the Illinois campus. I've been back a couple times since. But I made a visit to the Illinois campus when I was a junior in high school. And I was on campus for about 3 hours before I realized that I was actually there, because the entire fucking the entire outskirts of the goddamn campus, it just looks like I'm in the middle of fucking nowhere. I was walking around some fucking grass, and just like I walked, and all of a sudden I was at a school building, and I was like, wait, have I been on campus this whole time? I turned around, I walked back, I was like, oh, that whole just the parking lots that were completely empty and the acres of grassland that just existed. That was all actually.
I've like visited as I've moved, and I actually really like it. Like I went to Maryland's campus, and Maryland, whatever. I don't really have any hard feelings.
Nathan experienced the worst day of his life. Is the only reason why.
Yeah, I know. But so many other colleges, I'm realizing, and Northwestern's like this too, is like they basically slice out a part of the city, and they go, "This is where the college is. This is the college part, and there's nothing else but college." And U of I really is.
That's a cool thing.
It is all like there's a house, someone lives there, then a school building, and then like a parking lot, and then like a thing.
What you're describing right now is that.
Yeah. No.
It used to be more until they fucking demolished a bunch of buildings.
Your basketball coach doesn't know his own school's colors. Brad Underwood's blazer is never the right shade of orange. Never.
Yeah,
have you guys noticed this? People talk about this all the time. His blazer is never the right shade of orange.
I think it's Pantone 1803, if I remember right. I only know this because my wife. Because my wife
dark
is.
Orange,
I only know this because my wife used to
also, I will just
be
say
a designer
purple
for this.
is a superior color to both orange and blue. So sorry. Purple is the best color to have.
I will say, okay, you want to know a dark secret? The last thing.
Do you like the Bears?
The last thing I'll say for this.
Bears are fine. Their colors are worse than Northwestern.
Because we're going deep into this episode. But my darkest secret is that when I was like 8 years old, I cried about Northwestern losing the Rose Bowl when I was like 8 years old. And it's the darkest thing that I hold in my heart. And my parents, who went to Michigan State, just laughed at me because they were like, "Fuck Northwestern."
And you know what? They were correct to do it.
Correct.
I learned. Well, my parents. My dad did always teach me early on. We always root for the Big Ten. That's the early.
That's my ethos.
That's probably the only lesson I've ever learned from my father. I am not fond of his lessons. They kind of all suck. But the one lesson I've ever learned from my dad is, we always root for the Big Ten, son.
I did. When Northwestern, I will say this, positive, good vibes, or ending on good vibes. When Northwestern made the tournament, I rooted for them because when the tournament time comes, Adam can confirm this, I only care about the Big Ten winning. That's all I care about.
Here's what I'll say. Northwestern played Vanderbilt in the first round. Vanderbilt is just a worse version of Northwestern. So you have to root for Northwestern there.
That's very true.
And then who the fuck likes Gonzaga? We played Gonzaga in the next round. Fucking Adam Morrison's school. Nobody likes Gonzaga. That's even whiter than Northwestern.
Mark Few is a coward. I hate him.
They are cowards.
Mark Few is absolutely a coward. Absolutely, he is a coward. 100%.
He could have moved conferences like 1,000 times, and he won't do it because he's a coward.
I am a Big Ten guy as well. I know a lot of people who aren't. This is maybe the most divisive thing in Big Ten fandom. A lot of people are not like this. A lot of people are not Big Ten at all costs, when it comes to the postseason. But I will say this. I will root for Illinois even in Big Ten games as long as Iowa is there. Because I care more about any strange personal connection that I have to a player than anything else. Because that's just my brand of weirdness. I don't know if I told you guys, but I went to summer camp for 3 years with Io. I probably did tell you guys that.
That's true.
That was back when he was like 5'7".
We had Io in the Big Ten DM for like a minute, and apparently he snuck out. I don't remember him leaving. He snuck out. But
me, Io, and Charlie Moore, we were the dynamic trio, and by that I mean Io and Charlie Moore were good, and I just kind of stood there.
Wait, you went to Morgan Park?
No. We went to camp in elementary school.
Oh, in camp, yeah.
Yeah, we're all like 3 years separated. So Charlie, me, and Io are 3 years. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, I didn't go to Morgan Park, but I mean they both did. That's why Io went to Morgan Park. Actually, he started at Westinghouse his freshman year of high school, and he put up 35 a game. Not a joke. He scored 35 points a game and like 10 assists. He went to Cal, then Kansas. Now he's at DePaul.
Oh, that's
I like how. For a few years, there was, I think for a solid 3-4 years, there were 0 teams from Illinois making the tournament. That changes this year, baby. That changes.
I think we should start an Illinois. We should start an Illinois podcast where we just talk about basketball in Illinois. I think that's what we've clearly
that Twitter
done.
account is defunct now. But what's the catch and shoot? You guys know about that? The Twitter account, the catch and shoot, where it was just a Twitter account. devoted entirely to Illinois basketball.
There's not a lot of those left. There's not a lot.
It's still around, but the guy stopped posting. He's Jesse Kramer.
Oh,
he does college basketball stuff. He's at SI now, but he used to like rank all the Illinois teams, like that was his thing, and he would like just tweet about Illinois college basketball. It was great.
We're back, baby.
Awesome.
We are back.
That's what we just gotta get. We just gotta. Yeah, we're just gonna start a state of Illinois based basketball podcast. That's the next move.
Yes, we should.
Power
Patreon
rankings.
content. It's gonna just be straight up Illinois basketball content. You don't care. You're gonna spend $5 on this shit. You're gonna spend $5 listening about Illinois basketball. You didn't know you wanted it this bad, but you're gonna get it.
I'll bring in the women's game too. We can do.
That's true.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Men's and women's.
I would love.
Well, it's about. I mean, podcasts are about people who can't, be alone with themselves for a while, and so they have to have their. They have to have. No, it's true, and I'm the same way. And it's like you can't just sit in silence for an hour. So you have to like have your online friends talk to you. And like it doesn't really matter what they're saying. And actually, an Illinois basketball thing would work because like it's just about like the emotions of it. It's just about us getting
also
the highs
we'd
and
be
the
literally
lows.
the only people
thing.
talking about it at this point.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, that is definitely
now,
a niche podcast.
We could do it.
Get in quick.
Noah, do you have anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Yeah, I mean, I already talked about Inside and New, InsideNew.com. That's my Northwestern athletics website. We've been recently writing a lot about women's basketball. Northwestern women's basketball is having potentially the best season in program history right now. They're only ranked 22nd. They should be ranked higher. They're very, very good, and it's been a pleasure to cover them. That is the blog I run. I also do a lot of stuff at WNUR Sports, which is our Northwestern student radio station that I broadcast a lot of sports out of that and out of BTN Plus. I've broadcasted 12 sports in my time at Northwestern. I'm very thankful to everybody at WNUR and BTN Plus for allowing me to have that opportunity. Those are the two things I am doing the most of right now in terms of still a student at Northwestern doing Northwestern athletic stuff. And yeah, just want to plug the Northwestern women's basketball team. They're very fun. They have a lot of things. They have a classic Carmelo Anthony style shooter in Lindsey Pulliam who puts up 18 shots a game, 14 of them mid-range, and hits like 7 of them. But she's just chucking. They got a point guard in Veronica Burton who averages 4 steals a game. They got Abby Scheid who's shooting 48% from 3 right now and just went 6 for 6 2 days ago. Even though she was a center her entire high school career and shot 10 threes in her entire high school career, and now she's one of the best 3-point shooters in the country. Very fun team to watch. They play this matchup zone defense that Joe McEwen calls. He's the head coach. He calls it the Blizzard defense. It is unique to this team. I've never seen any other team pull it out. The design, it's like the opposite of the pack line. The design is to get you to pass the ball. They are dead last in the country in opposing assist shots rate because they want to get steals. The whole defense is designed to make opponents pass the ball around and around until they get steals. It's wacky. And
Grant Underwood is listening and is very interested. You want to reach out to him.
I'm just saying, it's a very fun team. They have a lot of crazy shit, and I would recommend everybody to watch them.
That sounds exactly like if you are trying, as someone who's personally like a fan of college basketball just because of all the different kinds of coaching styles.
Right.
Like I'm definitely going to check that out. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
We're going to have a film study coming out on it tomorrow. It's going to be great.
No shit. On your site?
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah, get in there and fucking
check
that shit out. You should follow Noah on Twitter as well because him and I also harass the Barstool White Sox guy. He really has he has a meltdown about every 6 months on us where he tries to like threaten our jobs and things like that. He doesn't figure out where I work because he doesn't know how to.
He threatened to tattle on me to the Medill Dean last week, even though I don't go to Medill. He didn't realize that I'm not in Medill, so he threatened to tattle on me to the Medill Dean.
He doesn't know how to use LinkedIn, which was pretty easy when he was trying to like threaten us, and we threatened his other buddy just because I can use LinkedIn, and like so yeah, you should follow us. Like we do harass Barstool guys quite a bit. You should follow his blogs. Do some film breakdowns because film breakdowns are always fucking awesome. I don't feel like enough people do them on blogs, to be honest. So, make sure to watch us on Friday. I'm doing the All-Star game, the NHL All-Star game skills competition with Tony from Minion Death Cult. We're gonna watch it. We're gonna fucking talk some hockey. We did not get Ryan Reeves. He did not want to do our cameo apparently. So fortunately, we won't have that. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun. Even if you don't like hockey, this All-Star game skills competition, just keep up. We're heading to Means. What did he say? The end of February is when they're launching. So you got about a month and a half.
Yeah.
Of not paying to listen to us anymore. So, yeah, there you go. Until next time.
You love it, folks.
We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
It's up to be what you